Okay, Chef. Hi, it's me again, and we're going to continue our conversation.
Great.
And thank you so much for sharing your journey up to now. But
Mm-hmm.
so now I'd like to learn of what led you to Convene and being in New York, and
Well, great.
such an intriguing journey.
It's been fun. Well, after the islands, I moved to New York, and I spent about 3 years with the Morgan's Hotel Group.
Ah, okay.
And I've helped them with the whole transition of the Hudson Hotel when we switched it away from China Grill into our own internal.
Which really became a destination. I mean, Hudson Hotel was a destination.
Absolutely.
Still is.
And of course,
Still
you know,
is, yeah.
they have the 3 more in New
Sure.
York, from the Royalton, the Morgan, and of course, they were opening another one, which is called the Mondrian.
Right, yeah.
The Mondrian, which I was part of helping them put that together as well. And also I did some time in Boston at the Ames, which I was an interim chef. But after that, spending some time there, I wanted to go back into the fine dining. So I had a job offer with the Conrad Hotel.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
so I spent a year and a half there at the Conrad, back into the hotel.
In New York.
In New York City.
At the new Conrad downtown. Beautiful hotel,
Absolutely,
right?
yes.
I mean, really, I mean, that hotel,
It's incredible.
it's an incredible hotel. It really is a work of art.
Yeah, and the rooms.
It's a
I have to tell
museum,
you.
isn't it? I mean, to
Yeah.
me, it's with all the artwork up there. It's beautiful.
And we also were partners with Danny Meyer there.
Yeah.
Union Square Events.
Sure, of course.
So they were doing the catering side, and we were doing all the rooms and, of course, the
Mm-hmm.
restaurant and all that. Where I learned a little bit, and I saw a little bit how the catering was transitioning and all that. And that's when I was approached by Convene. Convene approached me, and just basically they asked me if I was interested in enroll with the company.
And, you know, and just to give it a simple definition, Convene is one of the leaders, I'd say, in the day conference space plus events
Yeah.
area in terms of their vision. You know,
Absolutely.
I've known them since they started, and Chris and Ryan, the co-founders, and what their vision was to create these environments
Yeah.
that bring people together in a real state of the art.
But also
locations, right?
with the culinary driven. I mean, a very high point in the culinary aspect of
Yeah, I'm just. In fact, I was thinking about this, like
Yeah.
when. So you were approached by them, right?
Yeah,
So I want to know the inner scoop story here.
Okay.
Like, what kind of questions they asked you, and also I'm thinking, you know, with Convene. From what I've always heard and learned is they've always been food centric and food focused. So
Absolutely.
So what was the dynamic in your meeting, and how did that?
Well, to me,
developed you?
what drew me to them is their view on food. I mean, their brain-driven food, their high-energy-driven food. That's what kind of drew me, because, as I told you, I grew up on organic, everything
organic.
fresh, local. Like I'm saying, I grew up with what we raised and what we grew, and all that. And what their vision was, they wanted a little transitioning in their food, meaning they wanted a little facelift into it of what can we do better. And when they approached me, they asked me questions as like, where do you see our food going? I said, I can see it going in a fantastic place. I said, locally. I said, you have a wonderful state of New York. So you have the Atlantic Ocean next to you.
Right.
You have fantastic farms in New Jersey, Connecticut, everything close to you. There's so much you can do here.
Right.
A lot of people always talk about California cuisine. They don't forget about New York cuisine.
Forget
the
about
Hudson
New York.
Valley.
Right.
It is from the creameries.
Amazing. You know, people
The
don't
farms,
realize
everything.
it's a very holistic.
Yeah.
It's a very holistic belief, and I'm so happy personally that this is where we're going, because you know, just to your point, is if we could eat beef, the beef could come from South America, have been frozen for 10 weeks, but why don't we just go local? And it's really that energy field that we're nourishing ourselves with. You know?
And nowadays, people are looking at what they're eating.
Yes.
And they want to know what they're eating.
They want to know what we're eating.
And also, at the same time, they also want to learn. They want
Exactly.
to learn what they're eating.
So let's get back to the question.
Yeah.
So you had the interview with them, the first
Yeah.
meeting. You spoke about this food philosophy, and so what was the trigger question that said this is the place for me?
Well, they said what really caught my attention was really the direction of the food program that they wanted to implement. And with what really caught my attention is like, you've had a phenomenal experience traveling and you've worked at different places. What can you do to our menu that will enhance that? I said, well, let me prove it to you. Bring me in, I'll show you. And I said, what's that going to take? I said, it's probably going to take a year. And I said, it's going to increase guest satisfaction. It may increase 1 or 2% of your food cost. They didn't like that. But,
hey,
but
you know?
in reality, you know, you got to give a little to get a little.
You
And
know,
then-
this is the big thing with organic too. A lot of people they say, well, I don't want to spend more for that. But at the same time, I think now things are changing where people say, I'll spend that
Yes.
because I know what I'm getting.
Exactly. And
Right.
you're not dealing with pesticides and all those different chemicals that people are using these days. But in fact, it proved after a year and 2 months since I've been with the company, of course, the guest satisfaction went through the roof.
Right.
People commenting on the food. Yes, my food cost didn't go 2%, but it was 1.5.
All right, well,
But-
close enough.
yeah,
So you
close
came in
enough.
under budget.
With
how
that-
many locations are there now?
Well, I'll
I
tell
mean,
you right now, we have 7 that are open. We're about to do World Trade Center.
Which
we're
is
doing
amazing,
the Conde
right?
Nast, and
Not
we're also
amazing.
opening a coffee shop on the 64th floor.
Yeah.
We're doing 65 Park Ave, which is called the Park Avenue Tower,
Right.
on 55th and Park. We're also doing 4 Times Square, which is the old Conde Nast building,
I know.
which
It's
we're going to
pretty
do
amazing.
a little different concept. So in a way, it's the amenity to the building.
Yeah.
We're adding all these beautiful spaces into the buildings that some of these buildings were just these spaces were just left to waste. Like
The spaces have personalities.
yes,
You know?
so now we put these beautiful modern design with all the high tech and of course the culinary in there, and also trying to do the vertical catering into the building. So allowing people, instead of wasting 2-3 hours from leaving the building, going to eat, coming
Right.
back,
They do
that
that.
we can provide them with all the.
So you're really having a lot of fun, aren't you? I mean, you're basically like an artist with a blank palette and
It is.
throwing that.
I am
right?
actually, yes.
Right?
Yeah,
like
it's so much fun.
It's so much fun. So many different stages. What I call stages. To me, is all about the planners have venues and hotels like the actors have stages and theaters.
absolutely.
It's the same thing. So thank you very much for sharing that with us today, Chef. I really love learning about your journey and how how in your role as a corporate chef, you really appreciate the importance of food.
Which is, it's nowadays you have to be on top of also the trends.
Yes, you do.
Making sure you give all those wonderful things that people are hearing about in the menus as well, so you get creative. So
No
it's
question.
been fun.
We'll
been
get
fun.
to that in a little bit.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.